this project, I started with some Celestial Fireglass, which is just clear fireglass, and I mixed it with Artist Loft Iridescent Medium that I picked up at Michael's. I just took a big spoonful and I mixed the two together in a bowl. Then I spread it out on nonstick paper. You can use parchment, wax paper, any kind of nonstick paper, and you have to really spread it out because this is like a paint and it will stick together. So the further apart you can get each piece, the better off you are. I did put a little iridescent glitter on this batch. Then you let it dry overnight, and the next day you just crumble it between your hands and break any pieces apart that may have stuck together. I took a 10 by 12 frame and removed the backing, removed the glass, cleaned the glass, and then took Elmer's glue and put it around the perimeter of the back of the frame where the glass would sit. Then I replaced the glass and used Elmer's glue one more time around the perimeter. Now this serves two purposes. It helps to hold the glass in place, and it helps to prevent resin leaks when you put resin on the other side. This needs to dry overnight and sometimes up to 24 hours depending on how much glue you use. After the glue is dry, I took painter's tape and put it around the perimeter of the back, just an extra precaution against resin leaks. I cut out a circle and I did some measurements so that I could center it just so. I'm really bad about centering things, so I went ahead and mapped it out, and then I taped it down to the back of the glass to use as a template. And I took my fireglass that I had painted with the iridescent medium, and I took clear Elmer's glue, and I went ahead and filled the entire circle in, and this is the moon. And I think it turned out really good. It did take a good 45 minutes to finish the whole moon. Next, I had found this gel. I guess it's called a gel cling. You usually put them on your windows. I had found this up at Walmart. They have them all over the place. They have them at Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. And anyway, this particular one happened to come from Walmart, and because it says Celebrate on it, that's the brand that they have. And I just took the gel cling out and put it right on top of the moon that I had made. And I took a piece of glass and put it under the bottom of the broom to support that part, because that was the only part that was kind of hanging off. And then of course I took all the letters and put them on, and I put the bats on. And then I used a little paper tape to clean up all around the perimeter because I had gotten some glass and some little glitter on it. And doesn't that look cute? And then I mixed up some resin off camera. This resin I'm using for this project is craft resin, crystal clear. I poured it over the witch and over, kind of smoothed it out over the moon, and then went around up into the corners and around the perimeter and just pushed it up against the edges and into the corners, because the resin, if you don't put it where you want it, sometimes it doesn't fill in all the areas. And then I was pretty much done with it. And I didn't end up putting any glass on it. I thought it looked good just like that. Well, the moon is made out of glass, but I didn't put any more glass on it. I took my little kitchen torch and got rid of the bubbles, and my toothpick around the edges to get things out. And I set it aside to dry. And like I've told you before, I always come back like 10-15 minutes later, 3 or 4 times, and I could tell right away that something just wasn't going right. Can you see how it all has pooled in the center? So what I do is I just try to smooth it out, and honestly I came back, like I said, 3 or 4 times and did this exact same thing, and it continued to pool. It pulled away from the sides and just went into the middle. So after about the 4th time in trying to smooth it out, I could tell that it just wasn't going to work, and I was just going to have to let it cure like this, and then come back the next day and see what I could do to repair the damage. So here it is the next day, and you can see how uneven and pitted it is. It's really kind of a mess, but And it not only, it did that on that, the bats, and on the word wicked. You can see how that's just like little bubbles in some areas. So I decided what I was going to do was try to fix it with UV resin. I start with the UV resin, doing one section at a time. I probably could have just gone ahead and done it all, but I did the back of her, and you can see what a difference that made just in that one spot. And then I continued on to do the broom, the bottom of the broom, and you can also see how smooth that looks now. Look at that. Doesn't that look so much better? And then I just continued on to do the rest of the witch and using the UV light and putting it under the UV light for about a minute. And this is it all done. It's not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than it looked before. And if I had just started with the UV resin to begin with, I think that would have worked out best. But I'm happy now. And then I go on to do the words and the bats up at the top, and it worked out perfect for them with the UV light.
Hey everyone. So I thought this was such a cute project, and when I saw that gel form up at the gel cling up at the store, I thought, oh, that would be so cool to do on a moon. But now, of course, this was actually from Walmart. I'm 99% sure this one came from Walmart. And I went back up there looking for another one, and I couldn't find it again, of course. But if you were interested in doing it, there's a bunch of other ways you could do it besides with the gel cling. Of course, you could just get a clip art of it and put some carbon paper under it and kind of trace it out and then paint it. I was even thinking you could probably use puff paint for it. What do you think? That might look kind of cool. Or you could outline it with the rhinestone, a black rhinestone chain, and then fill in the inside with glass. Of course, and then just paint it on. But anyway, I think it turned out pretty cool. Now, unfortunately, as I was doing this one, I also did a bunch more. And I should have tested this first before I started doing a bunch more, but I was so excited about it, I thought, oh, this is going to look so cool. So anyway, these are the other ones I did.
So I did this one with the pumpkin and the cat. I thought that was real cute, and I just put some glass over the pumpkin. I think that was the only place. Oh, and then I put some glass way down at the bottom, and then I poured resin over that one. Kent was the haunted house theme, and after I poured resin over that, I did put some glass on the haunted house and up on the boo. And then I did take some iridescent black glitter and put that all over the resin. Next was the witch's hat, and I really liked this one. And I did put glass on the black part of the witch's hat and poured resin over that. And then number 4 was the ghost, the cute little ghost, and I did put a little bit of glass on him and then pour resin over him.
So this is how they turned out. So I think the reason the witch turned out so marbled instead of just going right to the center, because I kept on coming back, wiping it off. I was trying to smooth it out. And with these other 4 that I did not do that. So with this, I think this turned out pretty cool, the hat, and I think it's because I put the glass on there that the resin kind of congregated around the glass. You can't really see the resin around the edges that much, but it looks fine because of the glass on there. So I think that turned out pretty cool. I like that one. And then this one here with the cat, you can tell in some spots it sticks and in some spots the resin isn't there. And in this part, I think the resin is so thick it just totally covered it. So that's another solution, just totally cover it with resin. But, and then the ghost I think turned out real cute too. But you can, let's see if you can see up close. So there isn't any resin around the edges. It just pooled right in the middle. But it still looks cute like that, I think. And then the last one is this one, and that turned out kind of cute. And again, you can't really tell with the haunted house. You can see that it's on some parts of the ghost and not. And the orange, I don't know if you can see it still. I thought there was a little bit runoff of orange in the resin. It's so little, I guess you can't really see it. But anyway, so then I started thinking, well, what could you do, to prevent that from happening? And, we saw that you could go ahead and put the UV resin over it. So this one, I actually put the UV resin over the cat and, all the other pieces there. Let it, put it under the UV light until it was hardened, and then poured epoxy resin over everything and put the glass at the very bottom. And that worked perfect. That turned out beautiful. So then I started thinking, what else could we use to seal it with? Because not everybody wants to use UV resin. So I tried two different things. I tried Mod Podge, sealing it with Mod Podge, and also sealing it with a Krylon clear sealer. But when I went to take them off of the plastic to put them on the glass, this is what happened. So this is the one that I sprayed with the Krylon clear sealer. And you really have to kind of stretch these to get these off of there. So if there was some way you could do it while it's just sitting on the glass, see the orange that fell off of there? And then you could see more pieces kind of flaking off. So it just came right off. And then the same thing happened with the Mod Podge one. You really have to stretch it to get it off. And it was just all flaking. It just did not stick. So, and I think it's again because you have to stretch it to get it off of that sheet. So if you could Mod Podge it in place, that might work. So I just totally gave up on the Krylon sealer because I thought the only way you could do it is if you put it on top of the glass first and somehow painted it on so that you weren't pulling it and stretching it off of the plastic, because the stretching of the cling is what made it come off. So I just took these two, which were the original Mod Podge ones. I took it off very carefully, this top one, and left it. And then the bottom one I resealed with the Mod Podge. And you could see the top one, the resin didn't stick up here, so some of the Mod Podge must have come off. This one worked really well. But now that I think about it, I was thinking maybe even just clear Elmer's glue, just a thin coat. You can even put it on with your finger. A thin coat of clear Elmer's glue, let it dry, and then resin over it. Just a thought. Anyway, I thought they were kind of fun. I thought it was a neat idea. I really liked the way the witch turned out. I thought that was so cool. And like I said, there's other ways to do it. But check up at your Walmart. You might have some of these left. They have these clings everywhere you go. They are at Walmart, Dollar Tree, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, everywhere I go, I've been seeing them. They'll have them now. They'll have the Christmas ones out soon too. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you enjoy the channel, go ahead and subscribe. You'll be notified of upcoming videos. We have the Facebook page going now. Great place to ask questions. And I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching.